Alright guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to another video, another showcase from the Dragon Ball Heroes units, and it's going to be around the EZA Golden Cooler. Another unit that I don't actually have a dupe in. So this is going to be him at 55%, the bare minimum he can be on the Dragon Ball Heroes crossover 200% lead. Don't forget to let me know what you think of him down in the comments. Drop a like, subscribe if new, all the support is very much appreciated. We have him linked up with Fu. Not an ideal partner for slot 1, but they do link fairly well together. The only other links that are missing are pretty much all the Frieza family units kind of links, you know, Frieza and Cooler unit links, in Strongest Kind in Space, Universe's Most Malevolent, and occasionally Metamorphosis. So we do have the AGL Golden Cooler with us, or the SSR AGL Golden Metal Cooler with us, but of course we'll get a Dokkan Awakening next year, so I'm not actually going to do a video on him or also Janemba modified, just because in a year's time they're going to get Dokkan Awakening and potentially completely change, or just change a lot from their SSR. So I just kind of don't really see the point of doing it now when this is not how they're going to stay, because we know they're going to get Dokkan Awakening in a year's time. So he's going to make a bit of an appearance and supply the links of Strongest Can in Space and also Cold Judgment for the EZA Golden Cooler, which Cold Judgment is such a good link for that extra 20% defense. Just not a lot of units share it, so maybe in a year's time these two will work really well together, you know, at least potentially on a rotation, or having one in slot 3, one in slot 2, but we'll have to see. So with all those links active, turn 1 again at 55%, he's on 239k attack stat pre-super and 148k defense as well. And what you mustn't forget with Cooler is, or Golden Cooler is, he will stack attack, so he's only going to do more and more damage the longer the fight goes on. Of course, with how content is nowadays, it would have been nice if he stacked both attack and defense, even if it was just by 20%. But he does just stack attack, and he does raise defense for one turn by 30%. Sorry. So yeah, we're going to see what he's going to be doing. Hopefully Fu will do his thing and dodge all the potential attacks coming his way, considering he does have type survive right now. But we will see. That should be really good if you can dodge immediately. And he does. Good. Cool. So after EZing, Golden Cooler is a Dragon Ball Heroes lead and a Tech type lead, giving Ki plus 3, HP and attack and defense plus 130%. Off of stacking his attack and raising his defense by 30% for one turn. 2.2, I mean, again, considering he stacks, that's only going to grow and grow and grow. So it's not a bad starting point. Especially if he's hitting additionals, which he does have additionals built in now, as Cooler units typically do. Not to mention, if you also have dupes, he could potentially super attack 4 times in one turn and stack up 4 times in one turn, which will be very handy at raising his defense not only 3 times on a basis, but then also potentially 4 times in one turn by 30% each. So that's a lot of defense raises in one turn and a lot of stacks in one turn as well. So, you know, if you do have dupes in him, go full blown crit, give him, of course, he's going to get a few additionals here and there, and those additionals are going to give him an extra stack and also raise his defense by 30% one extra time in a turn. So it would have been nice if your boy managed to pull a dupe, but funny enough, one of the few units I actually managed to pull a dupe for when we did go back in on the banner. On his passive, he does get attack and defense plus 130 at the start of turn. He also gets an additional defense plus 30% when performing a super attack. So he does increase his defense when performing a super attack, which means his defense will jump up quite a bit when he supers, or a decent amount. It's only 30%. And that's typically when units get attack and defense, or attack, but Cooler's got extra defense plus 30% on super, so his defense will jump up a bit, and again, combined with all the additional supers he can potentially do, getting those 30% defense raises on super, his defense should be in a pretty solid spot. And again, especially if you have dupes in and you hit a 4th, it's definitely gonna, you know, be a decent amount of cumulative defense in the long run and help him out. He also reduces damage received by 10% within the same turn with each super attack performed, up to 30%. So he'll get 10% for the initial super you do, and he'll get an extra 10% each for the 2 built-in additionals he's going to do as well. So that means he'll always have 30% damage reduction, the 30% defense when performing a super attack, and raising his defense potentially by 30% on the super attack effect as well. So his defense combined with the 30% damage reduction is going to be in a pretty good spot, and he should be able to tank fairly well. In terms of where his defense would actually be sitting, I'm not entirely sure. I'm not sure what the calculations are there. I'm not sure where his defense will be sitting exactly. But I think for a definite fact, as an estimation, I reckon he could probably tank red zone bosses basics pretty well. In terms of a super attack, probably not too great, probably okay. Again, especially at 55%, maybe if he had a dupe or a few more dupes or just dupes in general or rainbow, he'll probably tank them a lot better. But basics, I reckon he should be tanking pretty well, even at 55%. We also do have Cool EZA on the team as well. He doesn't go under the 200% lead of Crossover and Dragon Ball Heroes. However, he is on the 170 lead of Crossover. So I had to bring him with us, considering he'll tick off all of Golden Cooler's remaining links, being Brainiac, Solid Support, and Cold Judgment. Along with having... Sorry, not those links. Was it Strongest Scan in Space, Universe's Most Malevolent, and Metamorphosis? Those are the 3 links we tick off by having him here. And also supplying him with support as well. So pre-super, off 3 stacks with the support, he does have a 576k attack stat, which is very good considering he's probably going to stack 2-3 times this turn as well. His defense is on 165k, which considering he's also potentially going to raise his defense on super 3 times by 30% as well, and also get the additional defense plus 30% performing a super attack, and also get a 30% damage reduction. That's also a pretty good starting point. Where does his attack stat go down to if we get rid of those links with the support? 506k, so I mean it jumps up a bit, but the attack stat's still in a pretty good spot. So Fu, I just need you to start dodging again. That's all I need from you. I just need you to do your thing, and I need you to dodge. So the 2 additional attacks do have a high chance of becoming a super attack, so that's a 50% chance of becoming a super attack on both of them supers. So a lot of the time you're probably going to at least see him super attack twice in one turn. Of course, dupes would also help him, but that's a 50% each time for those 2 additionals to become super attack. We're up to 3.1 with the support and stacking. No super attack that time, which is a shame. And no super attack on the second one, which is also a shame. This is the thing with coolers. The additionals are great. The 50% chance of launching an additional super on each of them, also great. But there's also that coin flip chance where you get the one you're not looking for. Heads or tails, depending on the scenario, where he may not super, which means you miss out on potentially 2 stacks. And more importantly, for harder content, you miss out on raising his defense more than once as well. But still, he's still very good. It's a very good EZA that I'm very, very impressed with. And I like a lot. I really do wish I had some dupes in him as well, just so he could do some extra damage. There was also the possibility of a crit. It's kind of like the same similar situation to LR Final Form Cooler, because he has all those additional supers, like he has the additionals built in, and you know, they have such a decent chance of becoming, you know, actual super attacks, and he also stacks on his 18 key. I really wanted dupes so he could hit a crit, so by the time he's sitting on a ridiculous attack stat, and also along the way in like red zone, he's hitting crits and just doing ridiculous damage. And then any of the extra additionals he does get from the dupe system, or the additional he would get from the dupe system, because it's going to be 1, you know, he could raise his defense again in 1 turn by what, 50% on top of the defense raises he would have already got. So it's kind of a similar situation with EZA Golden Cooler, where, you know, if I had dupes would be nice because you have increased stats, he could hit an additional stack again, but more importantly, raise his defense by 30% an extra time in 1 turn, especially because it also makes up for the fact that if you do end up missing, or one of those built-in additionals don't actually become a super attack, then you have the additional where potentially you could additional super from the dupe system as well instead. But more importantly, you could potentially super attack 4 times in 1 turn, ideally. So there is that. So I would really love a dupe in him, but maybe I'm just going to have to give skill orbs to him, just because, you know, any stones I'm getting right now, I'm either going to save or I'm going to do a few summons on the LR Vegeta and Trunks banner. So some skill orbs may have to go onto him. Without the support and some stacks, we're on a 527k attack stat at the start of turn, 148k defense. It's looking good for him. It's looking very good for him. I'm actually really impressed with his EZAs. EZA is really good. But one important thing that I love the most about his EZA is not only is it very good, but again, very similarly to LR Final Form Cooler, obviously nowhere near as good, but similarly to him, he feels like he's a lot of fun to use. Like, don't get me wrong, because he's a Super Dragon Ball Heroes unit, even with an EZA, and especially because he's also at 55% with no dupes, you know, his level in terms of where his stats can get to realistically in harder content is a little bit limited. Like, we're only on like not even 3 million right now without support, which obviously isn't the best. But, you know, the fact he's just a lot of fun to use. Constantly stacking and hitting potentially, you know, 3 super attacks in one turn is great, especially the fact he is a stacker. You know, raising his defense potentially 3 times in one turn by 30%. It's good. He's a lot of fun to use, which is a huge bonus in my book. But as I said, because he is a Super Dragon Ball Heroes unit, even in EZA, and again, especially with 55%, there is kind of a cap off realistically in harder content, if you can use him in harder content, in terms of where he's going to get to. So, you know, if you took him into a red zone stage, are you going to be seeing him hit like 6-7 million attack stats? Probably not. But he's still very good, and he's still a lot of fun to use. That is for sure. He is a lot of fun to use. He's still very good. It's just you're not going to see these ridiculously high attack stats all too often. But not only that as well, he gets the 2 additional attacks that has a 50% chance of becoming a super attack when there are 3 or more Dragon Ball Heroes categorized on the team, which if you run a full Dragon Ball Heroes category team is obviously very, very easy to get active. Not to mention as well, you can also run him on another 200% lead of Wicked Bloodline and also get the Dragon Ball Heroes category allies you're looking for. You know, it probably won't be the best right now because Golden Metal Cooler doesn't have a Dokkan Awakening, but next year, depending on what they do with him, you have EZA Golden Cooler, you have EZA Metal Cooler, not EZA, sorry, the Dokkan Awakening for Golden Metal Cooler. You also have EZA. Actually, no, you don't. No, you don't. No. I just remembered. EZA doesn't go on Dragon Ball Heroes. EZA doesn't go on Dragon Ball Heroes. And also, there's the EZA Golden Cooler himself. But yeah, EZA doesn't go on Dragon Ball Heroes. I literally just completely forgot. He doesn't go on Dragon Ball Heroes. He only goes on Crossover because he's a Fusions unit, not a Dragon Ball Heroes unit. However, EZA Golden Cooler still does go on a 200% lead of Wicked Bloodline. However, you would be missing out on the 2 built-in additionals, which have a 50% chance of becoming a super attack, which honestly is a big part of his passive, especially with all the defensive raises you can get and also the stacking of attack. He could go on there, but he just wouldn't be very good. I actually completely forgot that. I literally said it in the beginning of the video. He goes on Crossover, not Dragon Ball Heroes. Completely forgot that. So no, you can't actually do that. I mean, you can, but as I said, he just won't be very good. And also, he's a support, which is also very nice. Not only does he stack, not only does he have load like built-in additionals, not only is he a lot of fun to use, but he's also a good support. All allies get Ki +2 in attack and defense plus 20%, and also Dragon Ball Heroes category allies get attack and defense plus 20%. So on the Dragon Ball Heroes team, Dragon Ball Heroes category allies will get in Ki +2, attack and defense plus 40% in total, which is very, very nice. So his best spot, realistically, in like red zone, would actually be a floater. He wouldn't be able to stack up as much as you would want him to, or maybe you could keep him on, you know, in the early rotations. And, you know, that could be a possibility just to get him to stack up a bit more, because we'll be making more appearances. But his best and ideal position on a rotation would be a floater, because then, you know, he's still got the chance of hitting, you know, 3 super attacks with the 2 additionals. And yes, you wouldn't be able to stack too much of him, but more importantly, you'll be getting those defense raises and also supporting everyone on the category as well. So his ideal position would definitely be as a floater in slot 3, just because, again, realistically in red zone, even with the 2 additionals, and even if you were getting, you know, that 50% chance of becoming a super attack off twice, you know, every single turn he made an appearance, as I said, you're not going to realistically in red zone get into like a 6-7 million attack stat. Like, he's only on almost 4 million now. And we're in a longer event in the Vegeta event. So in a shorter event like red zone, realistically, you're just not going to get him stacked up that much. So to utilize the support and also all the additionals, but more so importantly, the additionals raising his defense potentially 3, and if you have a dupe 4 times to give him the more defense and also the damage reduction in, you know, red zone to help him tank, his best spot would definitely be in slot 3 as a floater with that support. But I'm really impressed with him. He's very good. He's very, very good. I would love to have some dupes of him. And he's a lot of fun to use. But let me know what you think down in the comments. I'll see you in the next video, guys. And peace!